constantly on alert, and to a certain extent, I really do think my staff need a period of debriefing, but somehow they just get caught in having to just continue working.
How was the ordeal for you and your staff here? I mean, it's the first of its kind in Jamaica. It's magnitude.
Yes. Well, sometimes when you're under pressure, at least initially, you just get on with the work. So you don't really realize what you're facing. I mean, when I got a call on Sunday night, I was told that there were 8 gunshot victims that were there, and then later on in the morning I heard that there were 12. So I think during the time, not knowing exactly how much is coming or what else is coming, I think there's a certain level of anxiety that the staff would experience because they're not sure what's going on. Fortunately, no more people came in during that time, so they were able to handle the situation very well. On a Sunday night, we usually have less staff working in the A&E department than during the daytime. And what was good about the response was that because of that, well, I don't know if it's because of that, but what happened, the other disciplines in the hospital, they actually came out to A&E to give support. So those who were working on general surgery, they just came out, gave support. Those working on what we call internal medicine, those with diabetes and hypertension and those things, they just came out. Everybody jumped in to see patients. And because of that, perhaps within about 3 to 4 hours, they were able to stabilize pretty much all of the victims that came in by that time. 2 came in and were pronounced dead when they got here, and 1 died undergoing treatment.
That's the treatment was the girl.
Yeah.
The Diamond.
Right. She died while undergoing treatment. That person, I think, was known by one of our staff members who was actually involved in the treatment of the person, and when she died, it affected them significantly.
This is the most severe instance, but I know that Maple is not known, but have a problem with the gunshot victims and gunshot wounds. Can you just tell me how has that affected your overall operation, not just this incident, but the spate of shootings overall?
Okay. Well, we'd rather not have any shootings at all because they do take up a significant amount of resources to manage. Resources from the hospital perspective, but also resources in terms of persons that are injured, their time and the rehabilitation after and that kind of thing. I remember when I came here some years ago, there were some two twin girls, about 5 years old, that got shot. One got a spinal injury, and I in my opinion, is devastating because at that age, the little 6-year-old girl was actually carrying her sister to school, pretty much on her back. When they went to a higher class, because I kind of followed them up, used to carry them upstairs on her back, to class. And, just to think at the life of a child, is just totally changed because of I said it was a stray bullet at the time, but it's just devastating. I really wish that the shooting would stop.
Is it that your staff is constantly on alert for these gunshot victims?
We're constantly on alert, and to a certain extent, I really do think my staff need a period of debriefing, but somehow they just get caught in having to just continue working. In a lot of settings overseas where you attempt to resuscitate somebody and they die, they have a policy that anybody that was involved in the resuscitation should go off for like 24 hours and come back.
Mm-hmm.
In our setting, we don't have that luxury. So, in a case where an attempt was made to resuscitate this particular lady who died, they just have to just take a deep breath because patients in A&E waiting, and them, I watch them watch and say, you know, me wait too long. You understand? So there's no thought about the fact that doctor probably just emotionally drained and just need to just sit down and just take a breather, you know, because as far as people concerned, they're waiting from morning and, you know. I think that is one of the sad things about not having enough staff, one, to kind of relieve people. And people does not understanding that sometimes you have poured out yourself and you're really on your last, and if they see you sitting down just taking a breather, it's like, look how long we are wait, and you know,
sit down and nod.
But sometimes really and truly that is what you need to do. Sit down and just don't do anything until you get a little chance to recover. Yeah.
Alright, how many surgeries would you have done in terms of dealing with these 9 persons? Just a general idea as to what went into what you guys did.
Well, fortunately, no major surgeries had to be done.
By major, I mean
any of these patients. So no laparotomy, no cutting in operating theatre. Most of it were just minor, not even minor injuries, but significant enough injuries for us to observe, but nothing to operate on. So basically, the operation that is required now is on one person with a fracture, and that is going to require certain additional equipment for that to be done. But in terms of actually doing operations, I would say very fortunately, nobody really needed an operation.
It was more like dressing. What was it more like?
It's mainly flesh wounds, right? So bullets will go right through, so it goes in and goes out. So you have an entry and an exit wound. There's no vascular damage or any damage to the blood vessel, no damage to the nerves from what we observed. And those patients, it's almost like you get a knife cut, I don't damage anything, but it just happened to be bullets that are involved.
People.
Yeah, so the majority of the patients really just had these through and through injuries that we call them. A couple of them had fractures associated, but those fractures, you just treat them with a plaster of Paris and just follow them up in the clinic.
A lot of persons are concerned about the child. I mean, that wasn't a major surgery.
Again, we're very fortunate with the child. That was a through and through, fairly superficial injury. It went close to his scapula, but there was no fracture. So all I can say, we're giving God thanks that, you know, the cases that came in never really required a full out surgical approach.
Are there any lessons that the hospital itself can learn from this particular incident? This is a monumental in the wrong sense of the word. Yeah. But are there any lessons that you would have learned from last weekend?
Lessons learned. Well, I suppose the lesson that we learned, we have a mass casualty manual. That's usually updated every year, and we have our A&E consultant, A&E team. Our consultant, she is like the main person who gets the mass casualty mobilized. So she would be the one that would call me and say, we have a mass casualty situation. I'm asking you to activate it. So then I would call and I would activate it. This is something that we have to keep updating, get the team ready. And so when this happened, it was smoother because we had pretty much rehearsed the whole scenario before. So we know to call out so and to call out so and to call out so. Everybody knows their response. Once they hear mass casualty, they know they must come there. Fortunately, the people that were on spot were adequate to be able to handle the situation. However, if they were not adequate, they would have to come from home to come in, right? So that there are layers of response that are already in place. And then the other layer now, if we are totally overwhelmed, we'd have to look now at contacting like a Mandeville or a Spanish town to actually take off some of the patients. So fortunately, we don't have the gunshot wounds, but we do get it in like bus crashes and that kind of thing where we have multiple people coming in at any given time. The only problem is right now the demand on the spaces in the hospital is so high that a lot of patients actually end up staying in the accident and emergency department, are waiting an opportunity to be admitted to the ward because there's not enough.
And then more persons coming to A&E and then the bottleneck.
That is the main issue. When our A&E is full, in terms of resuscitating, we have to do like move patients around, take patients out of bed to put in a patient kind of thing until we can sort everything. The lesson learned basically is to keep our mass casualty plan current and get the team ready and trained, right? The situation that I would love to correct is the overcrowding in the A&E department where we don't have enough spaces to admit patients and then patients having to stay out there and there's not enough space to free up for people to be managed efficiently and sometimes effectively. The hospital is just 5 minutes away from the incident and we to this point in time we have no idea why these guys just went in and shot up the place. You understand? Staff are concerned, their family members are telling them why you're going to work kind of thing, you know, but because of their, I don't know, there's something in their mind that they have a responsibility to come and serve. So they do come and serve. In terms of the state of emergency, no. There's a challenge with transportation and that kind of thing. But it's still coming out, and I really do appreciate the fact that they are determined to come and serve regardless. So there is a concern, but for those people living in that whole community that is under pressure, we really there's a certain level of anxiety and fear, but somehow they suppress it and still come to work. And
still valiant.
Yeah. What I would want, I want to mention it. Based on this and the knowledge of this, it would really be good if we could have like a staff bus. A staff bus that can pick up staff at home because the shifts are 7 to 3, 2 to 10 and 10 to 8. So people coming to work at 10 o'clock in the night, you know.
And you have workers from that community?
We have people coming from in that area. Coming. So if we can get a staff bus or some staff buses to pick up people at their house and carry them to work at night, I mean, that would be what we would really want.